Hi guys, I'm here today to talk to you about the book by Mathew Walker called Why We Sleep. So I read this book for the last couple of months. It is really detailed. It goes into lots of detail about why we sleep. Really good. So Mathew Walker is a scientist and he does a lot of experiments with related to sleep. Trying to understand why we sleep and trying to prove the hypothesis, and he's done a lot of work on that. Is really interesting. So I was interested in reading this book because I'm in a journey to sort of understand health and well-being, and it turns out that sleep is like one of the main pillars of that well-being, together with nutrition and exercise. Sleep is also as important, if not more important. So if you're eating really well and exercising, looking after yourself, but are sleeping really badly, you're almost damaging all the good work that you're doing with your nutrition and with your exercise. So sleep is mega important. And in this sort of 21st century lifestyle, we're just sleeping less and less. So at the moment, we are, compared to 100 years ago, with 69% of the population are sleeping less than 6 hours a day, and we need at least 7 to 9 hours a day of sleep. And I have had experience myself. I went through a period where I couldn't sleep very well, and as a result I was getting really teary, really emotional, and I couldn't cope with things that normally would have been really simple. And it's now after reading the book that I realized that this was actually the lack of sleep that wasn't helping me. But the way he starts the book is he starts going through the reason why we sleep. So for the brain, the benefits for the brain is that it helps with our memory, it helps with our learning, it helps with our kind of logical understanding of the world and with our choices. And for the benefits for the body is that it gives us better immunity. So there is a massive connection between the brain and the gut. And this connection, when we sleep, we get better immunity. And the immunity is going to help us fight off viruses, and it's going to help the body defend itself against illnesses. But it also helps us with like the metabolic state. So it actually helps. The better you sleep, the more you regulate your insulin to your glucose in your body. So it helps you. If you sleep better, you will be in a better position the next day to avoid like a sugary snack or make better choices, which in the long term it helps you with losing weight. But also another really important thing with sleep is the link with cardiovascular. So we now know that if you sleep longer, your blood pressure is lower. So that's really important thing to do. So anyway, those are all benefits of sleep. He then talks about sleep, how is a structure, and we have basically like two main types of sleeps, or two stages while we are sleeping. One of them is called NREM, and the other one is called REM. So REM, which is REM, I think everyone knows about it, is rapid eye movement, and that's the one that's associated with dreaming. So that's REM, REM. And then the NREM, which stands for non-REM, it means at that stage we're not dreaming, and that's our sort of deeper sleep. So they're quite different, and during the 24-hour circadian rhythm we go through different stages of sleep. So during the 7 to 9 hours that we will sleep, we will have, at the beginning of the night, we'll have like longer gaps of deep sleep, NREM, and then we'll have shorter REM or dreaming stages. And then as the night goes on, we will have longer REM stages of sleep, of the dreaming part, which is why it's really important that we don't cut cut the sleep short, because if we cut the sleep short, we're missing the REM sleep, which is really important, as we're going to say in a moment, for certain processes. So if you then know that these are the two main stages of sleep, then they are different. So NREM is more deep, and that's what they call like a reflective stage, because that one is the one, or reflection stage, because that's the one where your memories from the day are going to be stored, like if you want, from like a temporary place, they're going to put it in like the hard drive. So and it's going to try and, like, some memories that if things are unuseful, it's going to get rid of them. So it's like going to do like a cleanup, put things where it needs to go. So that's really important. But then your REM sleep, your REM sleep, is also really important, because that's the one that's going to take those memories that are now on the hard drive, and it's going to link them to older memories, and it's going to make it all make a lot more sense, and it's what is going to be like a more holistic understanding of something, what you call a deep insight. And that's the kind of sleep that then make you more creative, or it helps you find like the answer to something. You know, a lot of times people say, oh, consult it with your pillow, and basically is when you're doing your REM sleep, you're gonna have that time when you think, oh, actually I should have done this, or I should have done that, and it's just things are making more sense because you are making those connections. So that's what that period is called, more of an integration time. So the other one is reflective, it's integration. So those two things are fascinating to me, and I didn't know anything about this, and I do recognize now that during that time when I was struggling with my sleep, it was my REM sleep that was being cut out, because I was waking up at like 4:30 in the morning or 5, and then not being able to go back to sleep, or going back to sleep, then the alarm sounds, and then I didn't get to catch up on that type of sleep. So that is really important as well for the emotional well-being. He does exercises where he shows that if you, for example, have like a massive fight with someone, or some kind of emotional memory, that one day something happens one day, and if you have a good night's sleep, the next day you're going to be more collected and more calm and more rational about what happened the day before, if you had good amount of REM sleep. But if you don't, then you're just going to be still or live and anger, and so you're going to be very emotional. So that's really quite important that we have both parts. And you know, I'm really summarizing. He goes into so much in the book. I can't recommend the book enough if you are interested on wellness and, you know, sleep. It's a really fascinating subject. And then he kind of finishes the book with talking about the some tips for improving your sleep. I think he gives 12 tips. I'm not trying to summarize, but he talks really important, like the obvious one is like avoid caffeine. Yeah, but I think what I didn't know, I'm lucky enough that I don't drink caffeine, but what I didn't know is that if you drink a coffee at midday, 12 hours later, midnight, you still have a quarter of that caffeine in your body. And you know, people say, oh, but I'm still sleeping, so it's not affecting me. But imagine if you didn't have that caffeine in your body, your sleep quality would be much better. So it is having an impact. You just don't know that it's having an impact. And then with alcohol, I mean, I have an Apple Watch, so I noticed when I got the watch that when I went to bed after having a couple of drinks, my blood pressure was higher. But I also noticed that my sleep was more interrupted. I would be like turning, and it just, you don't know because you're kind of sedated by the alcohol. You think you had a really good night's sleep, but actually you didn't. And he says that on the book. And what he explains is that when you drink alcohol, not only you go into like this sedation stage, which is not the same as sleep, and therefore you're not getting the benefits of sleep, but for your liver and your body to deal with the alcohol, it creates these substances which are REM suppressors, which then means that you are not going to get the good REM, and obviously that's not great. So Anyway, just to put you off alcohol. I know we still do it, but it might make you confine the alcohol to less days, so you get some nights where it is really, really good to sleep. But other things that he says that are really important, you know, like be consistent, try to go to bed at the same time, try and wake up at the same time. Try your bedroom be dark and cool, so like 18 degrees, and avoid gadgets in the bedroom. So one of the big things he says is we need to recreate the darkness. So the body needs to think that it's time for bed. And if it's too light, and we all see in the summer, you know, when the nights are longer, your body just doesn't want to go to bed because you are seeing the light and you're getting this thinking of it is still light. So he said, you know, try and recreate the darkness, try and avoid the blue LEDs. Unfortunately, we're all changing our lighting for these more sort of energy saving LEDs, but actually they're not that good for stimulating the brain and making it think it's still daylight. So yeah, try to maybe switch off your phone like an hour before going to bed, and do something more like reading a book, or doing some mindfulness, or something that's going to calm you. So yeah, he says relax before bed. So if you had a really busy day and your brain is going a mil 1,000 miles an hour, then yeah, maybe have a hot bath, you know, just try to relax, because you can't just go from being really fired up to sleep in one go. And he also talks about not exercising too close to bedtime. So again, he says exercise is really good and it will help you to sleep, but try not to do it too close to bedtime. And I've experienced that myself. If I do an exercise class in the evening, I'll be just like, whoop. What else does he talks about? Oh yeah, he talks about avoiding large meals, and I 100% agree with that. If I have a big meal, I'll just want to sleep. I'll just be feeling my gut move down there. Yeah, so I think I cover most of them. So yeah, really recommend it. Have a read, and I hope I inspire you to make some changes and get better sleep, or at least to read Mathew Walker. He was on the Feel Better, Live More podcast with Dr. Chatterjee, and he had a fantastic, he's been twice on it, and he's really good speaker, and he's got some great videos in YouTube actually. So if you don't want to read, just listen to one of his YouTube sessions. It's fascinating. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.